Welcome back to the Buzz Weaver channel. We have breaking news. News that is so explosive, we can actually say that it is a bombshell report. I would encourage you now, guys, not to Google search this Time magazine article, but to use the archived link below this video, because we don't want Time magazine to get any click-through rates, advertisements, or metrics from this explosive article that I'm going to borrow from the exaggerated, hyperbolic language of the left when they interpret language and say Time magazine's article is outlining that the election of 2020 was rigged. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. A weird thing happened right after the November 3rd election. Nothing. The nation was braced for chaos. Liberal groups had vowed to take to the streets, planning hundreds of protests across the country. Right-wing militias were girding for battle. In a poll before Election Day, 75 Americans voiced concern about violence. Instead, an eerie quiet descended. As President Trump refused to concede, the responses was not mass action, but crickets. When media organizations called the race for Joe Biden on November 7th, jubilation broke out instead as people thronged cities across the U.S. to celebrate the democratic process that resulted in Trump's ouster. What happened here was, as described by the left, if I were to borrow their language, a super spreader celebration event took place, not only across the United States, but across the world, as the establishment celebrated the ouster of a sitting president. A second odd thing happened aimed Trump's attempts to reverse the results. Corporate America turned on him. Hundreds of major business leaders, many of whom had backed Trump's candidacy and supported his policies, called on him to concede. To the president, something felt amiss. It was all very strange, or very, very strange, Trump said on December the 2nd. Within days after the election, we witnessed an orchestrated effort to anoint the winner, even while many key states were still being counted. That's correct, because they were counting their chickens before they hatched, because they knew how many were going to be hatched. They had organized it. It was orchestrated. Now, here is the most shocking element to this. This is what we talked about for 3 years. This is where I got all the scrutiny. This is where I got all of the mocking. This is where we're getting all of that from anyone who supported Trump and even the GOP. In a way, Trump was right. No, there is no in a way Trump was right. Trump was right. This is what it should say right here. Trump was right. That's the way this section should start. Trump was right. There was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes. One that both curtailed the protest and coordinated the resistance from CEOs. Both surprises were the result of an informal alliance between left-wing activists and business titans. The pact was formalized in a terse, little-noticed joint statement of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and AFL-CIO published on Election Day. Both sides would come to see it as a sort of implicit bargain, inspired by the summer's massive, sometimes destructive racial justice protest in which the forces of labor came together with the forces of capital to keep the peace and oppose Trump's assault on democracy. What a mocking, sarcastic, condescending tone right here. Taking deep breaths, calming down, calming down. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say other than to hit that like button and show the algorithm that we are here to share information, because here on YouTube, this is the last, really kind of the last area where normies would come to get news and information. But we're getting pushed down and pushed down and pushed down as creators by the mainstream media. And I'm going to leave a link to this article because it is absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. For 3 years, you know my mantra. For 3 years, the Democrats working alongside the mainstream media, tech giants, Trump detractors, and special interest to try and convince as many people as possible to hate Trump as much as they did. It's in this article. It's in this Time magazine article. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election for Joe Biden and the establishment. Now, as I understand it, if you haven't already, be sure you are subscribed to the Buzz Weaver channel with 1Z. Smash that like button, and I know I sound like a complete moron, but I cannot emphasize enough, guys. Here we are. I want to tell you what this means right here in left language. Everybody are a bunch of everybody. Anyone who liked Trump, agreed with Trump, supported the American, I can't even speak, supported America, supported this country, you're a bunch of chumps. They're jumping up and down, clapping their hands, giddy, knowing what they did. Knowing that people like myself and other commentators and other content creators here on the channel, we spent 3 years outlining to people what was going on, how things were unfolding. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find the Red Mirage. I don't know if I have it in the title. No, I don't even have red. I don't think it's going to be here, but going back to the Red Mirage that we talked about, I think it's back in August, we talked about how the ballots were going to be abused. It was going to look like Trump was going to win, and then the election was going to stop. Now, I can't take credit for the Red Mirage. I'm simply outlining what we covered from articles that were being put out there because the arrogant, elitist, condescending mainstream media were already working on this plan right here that Time magazine. As a matter of fact, I could say that they probably look at this article. They probably started writing this back in August of last year when they knew all this. I mean, everything we talked about is in this article. Look how huge it is. I don't even know how many pages we're 50% through right here, and we still got more to go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you know what? Joe Biden is in, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So this is the mainstream media. This is the left. This is all the detractors mocking you. Are you an American listening to this? You are being mocked. You are being insulted. Your intelligence, your hard work, your taxes, your family, your jobs, your businesses mocked and disparaged by the mainstream media. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Share this video with everyone you know on your social media. Make sure you are following me on social media. Those links are going to be below this video. If you haven't already, be sure you are subscribed to the channel. I know I keep repeating that, guys. I can't emphasize this enough. Thank you to all of you on Rumble, on Odyssey, on MeWe, Gab, Minds, for all of your support. I'm asking for your support here on YouTube as well as on the additional video hosting sites like Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute. Because here we are. We have been hoodwinked. Well, we haven't been hoodwinked. We've always known this was going to happen. Now we have the media actually coming out and telling us to our faces we're a bunch of dummies and a bunch of idiots, and we fell for their ruse. We fell for their operation of chaos, their conspiracy, their cabal. We fell for it, is what they believe. All right, guys, so if you haven't already, be sure you're subscribed to the channel. And appearing right there on the screen, that would be the channel icon to subscribe here on YouTube. You can subscribe and follow to me below the videos on the respected Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute sites. I would encourage you guys to do that. And I will see you in the next video.